to record to the computer. Okay. All right. So today we're going to talk about content people are already searching for. Now, before we talk about, hooks, captions, or videos, we need to talk about what we're creating content about. Because great content doesn't just start, well, it does start with creativity, but it also needs to begin with what's the demand. Isn't that what we want? What people are actually looking for? If people aren't searching for the topic or using different words than you, your content has to work 10 times harder to be seen. Now, AI helps you think of what people might be asking. The platform shows you what people are actually asking. Um, Let me rephrase that. So AI is not actually searching for the internet in real time for like keywords, right? It's explicitly, unless it's connected to a live search tool, it's basically going to be like working through the most used or repetitive words. So, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, it kind of predicts what's most likely that people are going to ask based on the patterns, right? It's not really guessing. It's not necessarily confirmation. And so I wanted to show you how to make sure your topics are and your subtopics. So if you have your pillar worksheet, I would bring that up just because it might make it more helpful while we're going through this to make sure it's actually connected to what real people are looking for. Any questions? And I can't see y'all when I've got this going. This just drives me crazy. Let me see if I can pull you over here. Okay. Okay. If y'all have any questions, just shout out because otherwise I won't see you. All right. Can you see the screen? So what we're going to do
Yes.
is we're just going to start with what we have. Now, there are different strategies to do this. You can start with what I'm going to be sharing you. You can start with that and not start with the pillars, topics, and subtopics. But I believe it's helpful to get that clarity of creating those pillars, getting the topics and the subtopics. And what we're focusing mostly is on your topics and subtopics today. But you've got to understand your offer for this whole thing to work. Because if you don't, and I know you do, I know everyone listening here and right now and watching the replay because you're in here, right? We've worked on offers. We're making sure we're clear on our offers. And what we want to do for this strategy is pick one topic and or subtopic. And I say that because depending on how narrow down the topic is, you may want to go to a subtopic. La la la. So, and we're just going to pick one. And this process that I'm going to show you, it can be very quick. And you only have to do it not like you create the pillars, you create all these words that people are saying in phrases. You can make a whole list, and then you've got enough hooks basically for a month, 2 months, a year. Depends on how much you get done. So the pillars are the big idea that you talk about the most, right? The topics is what you talk about inside those ideas. And then the subtopics is the parts of the topic that explain better, right? It explains that topic even better. And then of course is the offer is where you the it's how you help people. So now let's narrow it down to a topic. And if you're looking at your pillar sheet, you'll see your topic. It becomes usable when it reflects a moment. I want to say that again. It becomes usable when it reflects a moment someone's actually experiencing. So when we're creating content, we want to use the topic, absolutely, but we want it to create a moment, be inside the moment a person's in. It could be a question, a struggle, it could be a desire they have, it could be a mistake, it could be a decision. So, for example, just let's say you're mind, body, and soul coach, right? And that topic, mind, body, and soul healing, let Ashley in. Um, People don't really search for that. I'm not going to type, I'm looking for mind, body, and soul healing, right? We just don't, it's not what we're going to be looking for. But what they search for is that moment they're in. Why do I shut down instead of speaking up? Right? You feel the difference there? I got to see y'all. Drives me crazy. I need to see you. Need to see you. Okay. See if I'm landing. So when people search for help, they usually come from three places. They come from the problem, something's wrong. They come from a how to. They want to just fix it. Tell me how to fix it, right? Or an emotion. Like they feel something and they can't ignore it, right? They feel the pain, the struggle, the question. All right. So let's break down these different these three things. Problem language. It's just what's wrong. And I feel like I had, yep. Hey, Ashley, we are in the middle of this. Let me know if you have any questions. Um, this is when someone knows something's wrong. They know something's not working, but they don't know, maybe they don't even know why. Maybe they're confused. They might be feel stuck. They might be going, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? Why isn't this working? I'm doing everything that people are telling me. Why do I keep messing up? Why do I keep getting distracted? Like there's so many problem issues that we can address in our content. Maybe it's like if you have, people like, why are people not opening my emails? Right? Nobody reads my emails. The problem language is great for hooks because it stops the scroll. Now, these are kind of the, what would someone type if they wanted to help with this, right? These are the things. This is how we are searching for that language. And so the how-to language is how do I fix it, right? This is when somebody's ready for the steps. They're ready to take the action. They don't want motivation. They don't want instructions. Then they type things like how to. So they're wanting to just do it. How to? What's the best way to? Just give me the tips so I can use them. For example, if you're in affiliate marketing, let's say you teach YouTube strategies, you know, how to make affiliate sales on YouTube. The best way to promote affiliate links without being salesy, right? Those can be um, in your hook. And that's what I'm wanting you to think about. What we're talking about today is taking your topics and subtopics and turn them into language your people are already using when they're searching. Because a lot of the platforms and YouTube and Google, people are searching, but someone's on, let's say, if you're on Instagram or if you're on, and I believe even LinkedIn, I'd have to look on that. I haven't checked. Um, but how to language is perfect for the value content. So we've been talking, and I think I got ahead of myself. Let me back up to the platforms. When people are searching, they're using certain language, and that's what we want to use in our content. We can use it in our hooks. We can use it in the value part of our statement. It could be used in it needs to be used definitely in a hook, but it also can be used in the other places, if that makes sense. So value language is perfect. I mean, how-to language is perfect for the value content because it meets people when they're ready to act. Now, I don't want you to overthink this. This is just getting the words. How we put them together is we're just going to put them in our content, right? We're going to create hooks with this language. It'll make sense once you get the words, if that makes sense. Once you get the words, you don't have to go, oh, where should I put this? You'll know. And then the third one, the emotion language. Why would someone type what would someone type if they wanted help with the topic you have and they're in that emotion state? This part is what a lot of people skip, And this is where the connection happens. People don't always search logically, right? Like I said earlier, the mind, body, and health, coach. They're not searching in, I'm looking for mind body help. They're looking for why can't I lose 5 pounds? Or why do I feel like I'm never gonna, why do I always get distracted? Right. Um, so they type things like, I'm so frustrated. I'm so tired of, I'm scared. Um, maybe they're tired of feeling on edge for no clear reason. Maybe they're scared. Something's wrong with me. That might be what they're thinking. But people will type it in because they're typing in looking for solutions. So keywords, which is what we're talking about in the whole, help people find you, and emotions help them stay. So by using the keywords to get the people to see you, speaking to their emotions help them stay with you. So I'm going to go through a little bit, then I'm going to do a demo. So I'm going to show you how to make this work. So, so we're going to confirm what they're wanting. We're going to keep it simple. This is not guesswork. We're going to use real signals. We're looking for repeated language, but not necessarily perfect data. And I'll show you. We're going to look into Google. We're going to look in Google, within Google. There's two places. Google will have one way to look, and then there's also another place in Google, which is called People Ask, also ask. We're going to check the YouTube bar. We're going to check a social media platform. And if we have time, we'll do all four. Um, all right. So once we get the wording, once we get that wording, right, we're going to refine your topics. You're going to refine, you can keep your topics because that's your guidepost, but within that content or that into, you're going to create a list of hooks, so to speak, or that you can just run with. So at this point, you're no longer creating content from ideas. You're creating from what people are wanting. This is where your content gets stronger. And instead of broad topics, we're going to talk to specific questions that are in their head. We're going to talk about the real moments. We're going to talk about that clear demand, what they're wanting, what they desire. So once your topic is validated, your hook becomes obvious, your value's clear, and your content has direction. You're no longer hoping people like it or see it or respond to it. Your content's responding to questions they're already asking. So the bottom line, and then I'm going to show you, give you the demonstration part. Content works best when it uses the words people are already thinking. When you validate your topics before creating content, your ideas get sharper, your message gets clearer, and your content rises to a higher level. You stop guessing, you stop wondering why your posts don't land, because you're going to start seeing them land. I guarantee you. Your content starts working with the platform instead of against it. And that's how content gets seen. Because if you're on a platform that's a search engine, I want you to think about that. The platform itself is a search engine. The people are in there searching. So they're going to the algorithm used to love if you have a whole bunch of followers. Now it's more geared towards, are you creating content that people are searching for? So I hope I didn't, okay, okay, Mona's just coming in. I'm like, I hope I didn't lose somebody. All right, so let me get back to unsharing here. So before I demonstrate, does anybody have any questions about what I just covered? Was that clear as mud or was that pretty helpful?
Clear as mud. I like that.
Well, so did it feel like it made sense, or do we want to see the demo? Because I'm definitely going to show you the demo. I just was curious of um of whether what I just showed you made sense.
It does make sense.
Okay.
It does.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen again. How are you doing, Ashley? I didn't greet you. We were all talking a little bit so
I'm
earlier.
good. I did not set Luna up for success before this started, so that's why I had to go off camera. I had to I had to set her up for some success.
Oh,
She was a little rowdy.
oh, I saw her over there rolling.
Yeah. Yeah, she
All right, so I would love let's do this together. Does anyone have their topics or subtopics in front of them? Because Ashley, I'd mentioned to have it handy if you could, but if you don't, that's okay. If you have them in front of you and you want to, if otherwise, I can just start. Just thought it'd be fun if we had someone's actual pillar topics or whatever. Mm.
You're asking about a topic or a question?
The worksheet that you have, if you have it available, or if you've worked on it, or have it easily accessible, where you worked on your pillar content and your pillar topics and your topics and subtopics. It looks like, let me show you what it looks like. And if not, I can make
Oh, I have it. I have it.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not even it. All right. So do you have, let me, oop, 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 oop. So
I,
let's go to what I want to do is I want to show you how to do what I just talked about. Does that make sense?
I have one if you want to have
Okay,
one.
yep, let's do it.
Pillar, pillar content for this week, purpose over pressure.
Purpose.
Over
So
pressure.
that's the pillar. What's the topic? Or is that?
Oh, that's what I have on the topic.
Okay.
That's the
So
topic.
I'm going to just type this in for the purpose over pressure.
Mhm.
Okay. So I want you to see that. So there is apparently someone at some time search for that. Um, so let's see what we're looking at. I'm going to say, give me a subtopic.
The subtopic, pressure creates movement, purpose creates meaning.
So purpose, let's think about this.
Or
So
maybe
if
maybe it's complicated.
Nope, nope, it's not. That's just why we're going through this process. So this is why, because if your your topic, there's nothing wrong with your topic or your subtopic, right? Because that's gives you direction. So now we got this direction, but now we want to look at it how our people are seeing that or
Mhm.
speaking, right? So so that helps you get focused and know what you're going to be talking about. Now we want to look at what is the people you're speaking to? What are they searching for? How to get that answer?
Yeah.
What are they feeling? So let's think about that. What do people when they feel like
So my
when they
question would be, are you living intentionally
okay?
instead of
And so
with,
what we're looking for here is this, right? We're looking for this list because this list is what people are actually
already
typing in.
doing?
You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're not going to put living intentionally with Holly Brown, obviously. Maybe if you're a Christian coach or a spiritual coach,
Yeah.
living intentionally with God, for God, living life intentionally,
Yeah.
living more intentionally, living intentionally, 90-day self project. So then you could do what's another, oh, wait, oop, there was a lot in there. Living and yeah, if you just kind of barely type in where you're not filling it out, it actually gives you even more.
Yeah.
Right? So these are
That's
things people are
that.
searching for. What that tells you is, okay, they want to live an intentional life. They are wondering if there's a community for that. They want to know if intentional, like budgeting, like that may not be your area. So, but you know that there's some words here. You don't have to have a lot of words. You
Mm-hmm.
just know that that is probably a pretty good um, living intentionally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is good wording. So give me one more, and then we'll go to another something totally different than that style, so we can get a
Pause before you pause. Well, it says here, pause before your next yes. Your next yes. Yeah.
so the
Yeah,
reason
pause before you react or before you jump or before you get
before
into
you, yeah,
stress.
I think react, yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
so you've got people, pause before you respond, post. So let's go just pause and see what pause brings up. Pause challenge, pause game, pause pause challenge, and pause. So these may or
Yeah.
may not
Pause
be
challenge.
part of you. Um, so it's not that these are that you can't use that. It's just knowing how these words are being searched for. So
That
how
might be
would
just complicated.
how
Yeah.
about rest? What would be another reason? What is someone going through?
Live with purpose.
What is someone going through when you know they need to pause?
Are you anxious? Yeah. Feeling anxious. Yeah. Anxiety, all that.
Anxious.
Anxious.
Anxious for nothing. Anxious
Yeah.
thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's anxiety. So here's just the things that people are looking for. Anxiety relief. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Anxiety, man. Now, I know you can't necessarily say the word anxiety in your content. I don't know if you can. Maybe you can. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you could say, I know you can say anxious. So using if you, because I know when you know, I know in a product based, you can't say it helps with cure anxiety, right? So
Yeah.
that's where I'm coming from. So that's just giving you some understanding of, okay, these are things, this is the word that people are really wanting more so than they're going to look for um, necessarily. Now, they may say, let's see this. What is my purpose? So here's what's my purpose is top. So
Mm-hmm.
to be clear on, so people are looking for their purpose
Mm-hmm.
and saying purpose versus um what was the other word?
Pause.
Pause. Yeah, pause. Thank you. They may not be searching for
Right.
that word. So
Yeah.
this just gives you
Makes
some
sense.
insight. Oh, my nose is itching. Sorry, y'all. So let's go to Google and we're going to do um pause pause with I know I
Pause
can't
with pause with intention or pause for anxiety relief.
how about anxiety. So here we're just going to look up anxiety just so I can show you. So anxiety, what we're looking for here, first, we were looking for all this list. This is what
Mm-hmm.
people are actually searching. They're wanting the meaning, the symptom, the disorder, the medication, the attack. So what you can do is you can use those words, right? Some of these, and I want you to broaden your mind a little bit. Some of these you're going to use because it's exactly how they're wording it. And I mean, I'm going to go take this to another place and show you how to use those words. But you're seeing that these are actually words people are searching for, right? So you know that the word anxiety is going to be something people are searching for. Um, uh, leadership. Let's say it's a leadership is something. Here's a bunch of things that people are leadership PDF. What is leadership and management? Importance of
Mm-hmm.
leadership. And then we come down here, and down here is people also ask. And this is what the words people are asking for. So up here we get the kind of the zero in on what is it people are typing in. And then we're getting questions. Now these are what you can actually use. Um, Is it maybe a hook? I'm going to tell you the 5 qualities of a good leader that you may not have known about, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, so, and when you hit the down arrow and come back up, they give you more. So, what defines a good leader? And when you pick the one that resonates best with what you do. So, what defines a good leader? Arrow down, arrow up, and you're going to get more. What makes a powerful leader? I'm going to tell you what makes what I've seen makes my point of view, or like what I've seen makes the most powerful leader, or my experience, the most powerful leader is, the most powerful leader I see does this. So by coming in here and seeing what people are actually the words they're using, you use those words back to them. Now, I'm just showing you a few ways. There are more ways. Um, you can go into ads, Facebook ads, any social media ad that pops up. See what people are saying in the comments. See how they're wording the ad, right? Especially if it's someone that's um, spending a lot of money on ads, someone with a big budget, right? Because they're going to test it and test it and test it. So someone with a big budget for ads, their wording is going to speak to the person very well.
Mhm.
So here's Instagram, and we have a search here. So let's look anxiety. And so you're going to come up with see resources. I don't know if that's what I want. My internet. Okay, let me try a different tactic here. Let's do a. Okay. So what you're gonna come up here is you're going to be getting social media posts that have related to that topic. And you're gonna look at the ones that are high views. What is the hook, right? What is the first thing that she said? What, and just study that. I mean, I'm not saying to spend hours on this, but I would say this is kind of fun to do because you really get so I don't, let's see if I can, it won't let me. I like it on my phone better because on Instagram, you can have more, but find out what that hook was. Maybe this was that anxiety is a disorder of uncertainty. I don't know if that was her hook on the screen, but apparently it got attention, and she might just be someone that's very influential. I don't know. I don't know her. Here's one 451 views. Um, I've never openly publicly voiced about my issues with anxiety and panic attacks. If that was her hook, right? People definitely are interested in that. Um, so do you see where I'm getting at? You're just doing a little digging, just a little. This one right here, 10 facts about overthinkers. Signs of high functioning anxiety. This one got only 300,000 or 3,000, but that's still good. This one got 102,000. This one got 509 or 500, yeah, 581,000. Depression and or anxiety. Listen to this. So this is giving you literally can take these hooks. Most of these aren't new under the sun, and make them yours. Like this one. I stopped having anxiety when I started doing this. Now, depending on her following, let's see what's her following. The reason why I'm ashamed, yeah, well, she has 261,000 followers. So um, you might look at her and go, okay, some of these get really good reviews and some don't. But I'd like to go in here where you're dealing with like 29,000, 100,000. Like those are the ones that people are really tapping into. All right. We're going to go next, last but not least, to, oh, okay, we did the three. We did three. All right. So I didn't want to just do, at that point, you can go into answer the public. You can use, there's a lot of resources. The goal is you're not looking for always the exact cookie cutter idea. You're looking for words or phrases that you can use and make sure that you use, right? So if you know that the people are struggling with anxiety, well, let's see, are they searching for that? Maybe there's another word they're searching for. Maybe they're looking for, let's try that. Let's just try that real quick. Maybe they're looking for words of, why am I sad? Oh my goodness, why is that not working? Why am I sad? And that may not have anything to do with things. Well,
Can I ask you something,
of
Tanya?
course, yeah.
When I go to Instagram and I do a search button on hashtag anxiety, it shows up, do you need instant help? And a
Oh,
phone number.
oh my
So,
gosh.
so help is available. Contact the helpline.
Well,
Why
now
does it
listen,
not, why does it show up like that?
I don't know. I did not mind. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So what are some other emotions that, so let's go look at the emotion part. So we have, or what would someone like, maybe how do I stop um feeling anxious? Here we go. How do I stop feeling the how to, right? That's the how to. This, how do I stop feeling anxious? How do I stop feeling angry all the time? How do I stop feeling anxious about work? How do I stop feeling anxious all the time? So that could be like, if you want to know how to stop feeling anxious all the time, listen up, right? Um, if you want to stop feeling anxious at work about work, listen up. I'm not saying you always have to do the same listen up, but I'm just giving you an example.
Hmm.
Want to, if you ever feel anxious when you wake up, this might be for you, or or this is for you. Do you see
Hmm.
how this, once we start digging in and start putting in like let me go back to this, and I'm going to go back to um, the problem, right? When we get into these, why isn't, you want to know why, you want to know what's wrong with, why do I keep, all right? So we go into, uh, what, what is wrong? Look at that. First one. What is wrong with me? First, rattle out of the box. What's wrong with my mind? This is gold for those of you that would be in this area, right? Maybe they would what's wrong with me quiz. They would looking for a quiz. That gives you a resource, a lead magnet they want. Your people are wanting that, right? What's wrong with my life? So those are things that people are searching for. Um, what's wrong with me uh, when uh, I can't stay awake? I can't sleep. I can't stop crying. I can't stop eating. Do you ever think you're wrong because you can't stop eating? Right? Like, wouldn't that get someone's attention? You ever feel like, what's wrong with me because I can't stop eating? Have you ever felt that? How many of you in this room right here would go, I kind of would listen into that. What is going on, right? Like, I kind of have felt that before, right? You would think at that moment, you might not be there now, but it might raise your curiosity. But if you're not there now I want you to think about this. If I said, you ever wonder why you feel like you can't stop eating? Some of you are going to go, well, I'm not there, right? I'm not there. So you would scroll on, but the person struggling will be going, yeah. So remember, and the reason I mention that is because we want to make sure we're coming from a place of where they're at, not where we're at. We don't want to be talking to them as if, well, I'm already achieved. I'm already overcome this. So listen to me. Yes, you can do that, but you got to use their words and relate to them. All right. All right.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
Good, good. Yeah, I feel that the understanding, I think if all the tips and tricks and the AI, like and Ashley, you might have missed this part, but at the beginning I mentioned AI, and I'm in the worksheet that I gave you, you have an AI prompt that will walk you through this. So you can do it a shortcut way. But I really wanted you to show you, I wanted to show you how you can do it and get maybe even question and double check AI, right? Know how to do that work. You don't have to spend hours doing it. You don't have to do it every day. You don't have to do it, you don't even have to do it once a month, but do it, spend some time, commit some time to digging a little bit and about 15 minutes at a time, right? Because it can be a little, it may be something we do in a content planning process. We may do that work, right? So we can spend 15-minute increments so we're not digging further in. But knowing how to do that and what to look for, you will start seeing that in people's content. You're going to start seeing ads. Once you appear, train your brain to see it, you can't unsee it. And so when AI gives you what it says, because it's using words that are repeated, it's not necessarily knowing what people are asking specifically. It's just saying, oh, well, this words are come up a lot. The word frustrated comes up a lot. So we need to use that. And that's fine. It's probably not a bad thing. But you knowing what your audience is looking for and what they resonate with, you will train your brain to look. If you see an ad, you're going like, oh, that's good, right? Oh, that's good. I need to use that. So I will always suggest and offer and improve AI work for you. Like, I'm creating the assistants, right, in the Heartstrong studio. Um, but I always will stand on the hill that we need to use our brain, our critical thinking. We can't lose that. And understanding, I'm not going to make y'all go through a whole market course curriculum marketing, but just making sure that you know what your people are saying and how they're wording. And that way, when AI comes up with crap, which sometimes it does, you won't just assume it's good.
Thank you, Tanya.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Any questions? Are y'all working on it?
Yeah, because that was my thing for today, or that purpose over pressure. So I'm just gonna rework it, and
I
I'll
would
come up with
love to
something.
hear, Elion, if you have something, in any of you, if you come up with some new wording, like your topic or your subtopic, and then some ideas from that,
Yeah.
share in the
Mhm.
group if you want to. That'd be so fun to see the transformation from you've got a topic or subtopic and how you've reworded some of your, um, not that you want
Mhm.
to take away from your topic. Your topic and subtopics, like I said, they're good. They're giving you direction. So, and they can sometimes, the way they're worded is perfect.
Yeah.
And sometimes you may want to reword your topics to make them clearer for you.
Yeah.
It just knowing how you're using those. Um, that's why I would say, well, let me show you. Let me show you what I've done. This might help. See, I'm a visual person, and I know a lot of you are too. So I'm going to go down here. And so here's what I've done. I've made a list. I've done research and I made this list. And this is content ideas from YouTube search. So this is just from YouTube. And these are all the words I've gathered and phrases I've gathered from YouTube. Short videos, 30 seconds, reels, video, editing, CapCut. Like they don't they don't make sense, but I know those things are what people are searching for. You see, so I'm just making a list of them. And then what I'll probably do after that is go to and I think I did separate some of these are Google, but I didn't separate it. So, but these are things that people are asking or they're actually searching for. Humans, not AI. So I know these are topics that I can use. And then what I do with this is I may, at that point, take that list, give it to my AI and say, look, these are all the words I know that my audience is using, they're searching. I want you to help me create 5 hooks, right? For content. So that's another strategy you can do. But doing that legwork of collecting what I would call keywords. I was careful not to call them keywords because a lot of people will say keywords are dead. Keywords will never be dead as long as people are searching. So yes, there may be other ways people create content or do things or whatever. And it's not that keywords are the be all do all. Sometimes we get so focused on the keywords, we forget the heart of the message. So we want to use them with discernment. But
Mhm.
Okay, so um, putting that topic, subtopic into AI. I just got my pillars done last week. I didn't go into the topic and subtopic. So I just copy and pasted that into the AI. It came up with some things. So now your suggestion or this home play that we're doing is where I would take one of those topics and put it into one of those search engines and see what their words that they're using for that is coming up. Am I understanding this right?
yes, but you may have to do some digging in your own, like in your own head, right? So like with Elion, I think it was, oh gosh, I can't remember how this pause with purpose. Let's say it's that. Let's just say it's pausing,
Okay.
right? Well, people aren't looking for pausing. It's a great topic because it gives you direction, but it's not what they're looking for. So you might have to think a little bit, okay, because we did that. We typed in pause. There was a little bit, but then what are people really thinking when they're in that space? Then that's what you can think it like I could come up with ideas. I could probably think of things for you, right? Your business. But what we want to do is not guess and not assume. We want to actually dig and find what they're saying. What are the words they're using? And that's usually what's up there when you type in that word. What pops up is the things that people say. And you're going to find that sometimes it's not even, doesn't even make sense. You know, it's if you look at answer the public, I didn't bring that in because I mean, I can, but there's a lot of different variations there. And it might, and if you're using one of those types of platforms, you can definitely go in there and look. I didn't want to bring it up because I want to keep it very simple. And the simplest way is to go into Google, type it in, see what comes out, go down, see what comes up, come down to what people ask, also ask. That's valuable information. So,
Okay.
so the goal here is to come up with the words, right? You're like I made that list of words and phrases. Come up with that list. It can be messy. It doesn't have to be good. I mean, as far as you're not creating the actual hook at this point. You can, right? If you're like, oh my God, that'd make a perfect hook, you just create it. Um, but and I will drop the PowerPoint if you in that section of this training so you can see that too. I'm going to also have the worksheet and this recording, so you'll have all those. So if you want to go back to that slide deck, the slide deck where it talks about the problem, the how to, and the emotion, kind of breaks that down. And I think it would share my notes that I have in there, so that might help. I don't know if it will or not, to be honest. I've not tried that, but um, the
So
work,
come up with a list of words. go back to that and define that for me.
Okay, I'm going to go back to that. I think this is the list of words. So here is my list of words that I got off YouTube, Google. I didn't use Instagram in this case yet because I was just kind of creating my list. So, for example, content isn't converting was a very high YouTube search. Content for lead gen, content strategy. These are all things people are actually searching for. This content sales letter, high converting content, social media marketing. So all of these words and phrases, Christian social media. That's the words they used. It was like I typed in social media and one of the words was Christian social media, right? So I
Okay.
took that because I could speak to that. Um, how to make a GIF from video. I don't know that I've um, so like how to add subtitles to a video. These are things that I can solve these problems and I want to, right? They're part of what I do. So I want to caution if someone's listening to this, if it gives you well, people are searching for that. So maybe I should pivot my whole business. So I don't want you to do that. Stay where you're at because I know there are times I wanted to do that. I was like, oh, well, people are looking for this. I'll just change my whole thing. And then I'm like, no, wait, this is what I love doing, right? Okay. So then
Perfect.
once you make this list, then from these words, you can create your content, your hooks, your value, your moments. So the formula that I'm sharing, one of the formulas, which is the hook, value, and that moment we share, that moment that's so relatable, the relatable moment, and then the call to action. So that's one of there's quite a few formulas you can use in content creation, and I've got like three that I suggest. So that is one that I think is really, the story is always going to be, any kind of story you can provide is always going to be powerful. So
Thank
did I answer?
Cleared
Yes.
it up. Thank you.
Okay. If y'all have any questions, let me know. And
I,
if you and if you have, just know that I'll be sending emails. So the emails are coming. I don't know if you saw they came. Did you see the email from today
it didn't come this morning
at 8 o'clock?
for me.
That is so weird.
I went and looked for it. Let's
Was
see.
it? Well, I wonder if it looked because it should come from me. It may. I wonder if it came from a different email. And it might be, did you look in spam? Because I'm trying to figure out if it's a new email system.
Yeah. Let me look at spam. Spam.
If you type in the search Tanya,
Yeah, here it is. It went into spam.
okay, all right. Eventually it will stop doing that. Once y'all open it and acknowledge that you like yeah.
Okay, now let's see if it showed up in my. Yep, there it is. Okay, so
Yeah.
it'll be
And
good.
Mona, if you would look in your spam from the email and actually like open it and do whatever you need to do to make it, because that's a new email system. So that way you'll see the emails. I should have told Elion.
All right, thank you.
You're
Appreciate.
welcome. All right, let me know I'd love to see how you turn a topic into a piece of content, a hook or whatever you do. I'd love to see how it motion. And that way, while you're doing it, if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Okay, great.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye-bye.